Hello again and welcome to this beautiful Saturday morning here at the worksite. This video will continue right where we left last time, and as you can see, all the insulation sheets are now laid down back there. And we also brought these containers on the site, so now I think we have everything we need to get this shed up. Everything has kind of gone like I planned, although there has been one unbudgeted expense, and that's the ditch right behind you, and particularly this. There was some misunderstanding of the requirement for that ditch over there, and we put there 3 smaller pipes. It turned out we need a bigger one there, and this is actually a little bit too big. It was the cheapest we could find, and this cost 1,200 euros. So yeah, this was unbudgeted, and also all that gravel and stuff gone into that driveway. So there has been a bit of budget problems with that one, but it's just delaying the project a little bit. It's a very nice day today and should be tomorrow, but it has been a horrible weather last couple of weeks. It has been raining, it has been grey and very Finnish November. I'm really hoping that this weekend I will get all the foundation molds put together, and next week we will pour the concrete. If you're new to the channel, this video series is all about designing and building this 15-meter cruising sailboat, and what we're doing right now is the shed for building it, because in Finland we of course need some kind of shelter to do anything. So remember to subscribe and check out the Patreon and stuff, and let's get to opening these crates now. This middle box is labeled as crate A, so I think we should start with this. I have no idea what's inside. Whoops. Oh well. Okay. This crate seems to be the actual tarp, so not this one. This is the crate C. So if everything goes like it usually does, the parts I need are on the last crate. But if I open that one first, then they will be in this one. So yeah. Interesting. This looks more like it. Let's take a little closer look. So these must be the parts that go on those foundations. Here is frames and some wires and stuff like that. But good news is that everything seems to have labels on them. That makes it easier. Let's open that last crate. Just frames in here. It seems obvious that these parts in this crate are the we are going to bolt on those foundations, so I think it will make sense eventually. Ooh, this is interesting. I don't know if you can hear it, but it rained yesterday the whole day, and now this water is frozen during the night. As you can see, I'm stepping on the insulation sheets. They are all laid down here, and as I mentioned, now I will continue by building these molds for the foundation of the shed. So let's take a little closer look. So this is just basically a frame to keep it in shape, and these boards will keep the concrete in, and there will be some steel rods to reinforce it, so it should be plenty strong. The purpose of all this is just to keep the shed on the ground as a counterweight, basically. So Alright, I got most of the molds done today, and the sun is just set, so it's going to be dark soon, so I can't film anymore. The clear skies in November means that everything will freeze. It's already started. These water droplets are already kind of smushy, not water anymore. So it's going to be a cold night, and maybe it means that it will dry up things a little bit as well, which is good. But now I will continue to work with my headlamp and start putting the steel rods, the reinforcements, in those molds before I lock them in place, because it's really hard to bend them in if they are already there. So I'll put these first and then I'll lock the molds in place, and hopefully next week we can pour the concrete here. I will continue and freeze my ass, freeze my butt, and we will see you tomorrow. It's beautiful though. Again, I'm freezing already. Alright, it's the next morning and I got last night some of the steel rods installed in there, and now I'm going to continue with that, and hopefully today I will get most of the steel work done all over this mold thing. And luckily there hasn't been that much of a freezing temperatures last night, but there's this very slippery smush on this insulation right now, so I have to be really careful when walking. Let's go and do some work. Now all the bigger rods of steel are on their places all around the molds, and now I'm doing the smaller kind of attachment pieces. There are 60 of those longer and 30 of those smaller, and I need to bend them around to make kind of loop. Then I will install them every 60 centimeter in that mold. Kind of a big job, but I got new waterproof gloves. Only thing that is bothering me is that the gloves get wet and fingers get cold, so I hope this helps. Now let's try to do this. daily report from the site. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to finish everything during the weekend, so it's now Monday morning and I will now continue putting these steels in and locking these molds in place. And I hope that by tomorrow everything is done and we can order the concrete. Let's continue the work. Another beautiful morning here at the Worksite. Now Tuesday, and the concrete for the foundation will come on Friday, so I have now this day and maybe tomorrow time to put everything together. It means all these steel things have to go in and I have to make sure that they are straight on their actual places and mount them in so that they don't move when the concrete is poured in. But the weather today is really nice. It's a bit cold, but it's okay. It's not wet anymore, it's just a bit chilly. Wet and cold is much worse than dry and cold. But I got yesterday all the molds completed. Now they are correct size. Now I just have to make sure that they are straight and in the right position. So if you think about the rectangle, it can be quite straight, but it can be like twisted. So I have to check the measurement from corner to another to make sure it's straight and 90-degree corners. It's not actually that crucial with that tent, but still I want to make it as good as possible. Let's continue. Okay, now I have checked the orientation of this foundation mold and it is as square as I can get it. And now I have just started put in the steel reinforcements. There are a few rods here already attached. This concrete foundation will act like a beam, so there's rods on bottom and on the top, so it will prevent it from cracking on either direction if this ground little moves over time. Yeah, looking good so far. Only issue is that seems to take a lot more time than I anticipated, so I will be here for the next 2 days, I think, to get everything done by Friday. Well, I can rest the weekend then. Alright, let's get back to work. Another day and hopefully the last one doing this foundation work. It has taken many days longer than I thought, which I think will be the reality of building that boat as well. Last night I managed to do all the reinforcements. It's now Wednesday morning and on Friday afternoon there will be concrete poured into these molds. Still long day ahead. Better get to work now. The weather was yesterday very good. It was just slightly below freezing and it was nice to work and everything was dry. But today it's 8 degrees Celsius, everything is wet, it has been raining all night and it's miserable really. I prefer the little colder and dry environment. No further jammering, let's go and continue. I start by putting good quality waterproof gloves on. finally the big day. We are pouring the concrete. Truck will be here in a few hours, and before that I just want to make sure that these molds stay where they should be. So I have already put some of these brackets on the side here and put these long screws to the foam insulation, so these keep the molds from moving on sideways. But I still want to make sure that the molds won't rise up, because the concrete is very heavy and these are much lighter. There's always a bit danger that the concrete will actually try to push them up, and that would be a bad thing. So I'm putting some screws to hold them down as well, and I think we'll get some big wooden blocks to put on top of here to kind of keep some weight on it. I'm also going to check the levels of these molds, so there might be some variation. It's not that big of a deal if there is a few centimeters variation of heights, because the workshop itself, it's a quite flexible structure. But yeah, everything seems to be good. Everything seems to be ready. Hopefully everything goes well, and the weather is okay today. Getting along.